Another way to customize your identity plate is to create and include a graphic up here in this top portion of Lightroom. Now, in order to do that, what you need to do is prepare a few graphics outside of Lightroom. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to navigate to the Adobe Bridge. And in the Adobe Bridge, I'm going to pull up this folder. It's titled Sample Identity Plate. You can find it in our exercise files folder in O1 Getting Started, and then it's a subfolder there. And here you can see that I've created two different identity plates. And the one thing that you need to keep in mind with these is you want them to be about 60 pixels tall. In this case, these are both 57 pixels tall. Now the width is kind of interesting, and we'll talk about that. You'll notice that one identity plate is kind of short and another one is long. Well, let's go ahead and open these up in Photoshop. All right, well, now that these are open, let's start off by working with this identity plate long here. I'm going to go ahead and press the F key to go to full screen view mode, and that way we can see this one in its entirety. We have some images there, and all that I did was create a document at a particular size, brought in some images, typed out my name. Now I know that's kind of hard to see because it's small, yet I want you to get a feel for the overall length of this file. Now it's time to head back to Lightroom. In Lightroom, head to the Lightroom pull-down menu. On a PC, navigate to the Edit pull-down menu and choose Identity Plate Setup. Here we're going to choose Use a Graphical Identity Plate. We want to locate the file, and we're going to go to this Identity Plate Long file right here. Click Choose. All right, well, I can't see it yet because I need to enable it. So now I can see that right there. Okay, well, that looks nice, and I have my little images, I have my logo, I'm good to go. What about how long it is? Well, currently the length is black. There's a black background here. What if I added another graphic behind that? How far would it extend? Well, let's go back to Photoshop to find out. Here I have this layer, which is titled Big. And this big layer, if you click and drag it, you can see is just my name, and it just extends really far. Now that we can see that this extends out almost to the end, I'll press Command S to save that, and then navigate back to Lightroom. And in Lightroom, I'm going to clear the image and then locate the file again because I need to do that to refresh that view. And here you can see that text in the background extends from the far left all the way over to the far right. And this will go as far as your resolution is set for your monitor. So you can have this behind these other buttons. Just keep that in mind that it's going to be behind them. If this were bright white text, it would be kind of hard to actually see those module picker buttons. Now that being said, you don't have to use a long identity plate. It might make more sense to use one that's a little bit more simple. So I'll go ahead and clear that image, and then I'll go to the identity plate, which just has my name in it there. And here you can see I can have my name typed out really well. And this would make sense, especially if this were my logo. Now you also may be thinking, okay, well, why not just type out your name? Well, in this particular case, if you use a graphic, you can define the height of the text, and you can see that this text is sitting on an imaginary line, which is pretty equivalent to the module picker buttons. So in this particular case, it's just illustrated that you can change the location of this text, whereas when you use a text identity plate, you notice that it's riding a little bit high. In my opinion, that's a little bit awkward. This is a little bit of a cleaner look, although we're using similar typography. Well, the whole point here is that you can get really creative with your identity plates, and all that you need to do is to create some graphics in Photoshop. Now, if you're looking for a starting place with all of this, I recommend that you open up those sample files that are included with the exercise files and just delete my layers and add your own, and then start to import them here, locate the file, and see how they look. Once again, as we've done with our text identity plate, we can also save this out as a template, and we'll go ahead and save this one as co-graphic, just something a little different so we can see that we have two options. One is a text option, another is a graphic-based option.